Hey, guess what? We'll be having Ron Morehead interviewed sometime soon. You can thank Glenn for that. He reached out and he was open, which is perfect because that's kind of something where the direction we're going is exploring more of the woo, or as I like to call the this phenomena that seems to coexist or always be at play with these areas where these encounters are at. And I also want to really thank the people that have been commenting. You know who you are. Actually, I want to thank personally, Proto Euro and I don't know if I'm saying this right. Nonia. Anyway, and everyone else that's engaging with some of the posts and the polls, and I hope everyone's enjoying that. I've been really enjoying the feedback, and I try to get back to that and respond as fast as I can. It doesn't always happen because I'm working like crazy starting this business, which I think I'm going to start uploading that information on my personal channel, Mateo, that you can find it actually at the end. If you scroll down on the home tab of Modern Explorer, you can click that and kind of just see me being run ragged and things I've learned on the business side that hopefully will help with this. But anyway, yeah, thanks so much for that, and hopefully this video finds you well. I'm gonna try to make more of these videos that doesn't take very much work. I can just talk to you, tell you what I've learned, and hopefully down the road I can make some nice content. But as if you've been following the post, you know that I'm trying to learn more about this other phenomena that's associated with Sasquatch. And of course, for me, my conclusions that I found with Sasquatch in my encounters was that it was very physical, and it had these interactions that were very physical as far as it needed to be in it needed to coexist in this world. The way it moved and maneuvered told me it was trying to survive the way you and I would, tactically and strategically. But that didn't answer that answered that question for me in those moments, but that hasn't answered questions that I've been putting on the back burner, like why in this area and many others do people see orbs, UFOs, considered haunted, other paranormal stuff. It's very much in one of those areas where I had my personal experiences, and I want to explore that. And I think the way to explore that, because I need to find out these answers for myself that maybe others have told me or others have concluded, but I want to go out and test these out, and I want to start really exploring down the road when I can non-physical phenomena and that link to the nature, mind, and reality. But with that said, if any of you have questions for Ron Morehead, put them in the comments below, because right now that's what Glenn and I are doing, and thank goodness Glenn reached out and he said yes, because I'm really curious to learn this gentleman's perspective from his viewpoint and his many years of exploring this phenomena and many things that might be correlated with it. But that's what we're doing right now. Is I'm listening to his contents, and I'm trying to figure out questions that I want to ask. That it's going to help not only with my own personal investigations, but also if anyone else has questions or comments or things they want to address, put in the comments below. We'll be interviewing in about a week or two. I don't know when it's going to come up when we're able to post it, but I just want you to all be aware and involved in that. And hopefully we can ask some really good questions, because I always like to ask the questions that haven't been asked yet, or the things that normally no one thinks about asking that he might want to share that could be really pertinent to us. But if we don't know the right question to ask, we won't get any answer. So that's the angle I'm trying to go at. I don't know if that's what'll happen, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So the direction I'm wanting to go in is exploring this phenomena. I want to just target on orbs. I want to make it simple and see if these connect to other types of phenomena like cryptids, other things like that. Because from my point of view, something like Sasquatch, where I had my personal experience and multiple ones, it very much operated like a very flesh and blood creature. But that doesn't mean that it's not like jumping in between different worlds on its own accord, whatever that may be. But I do want to find a way to test this and predict this. And so I do want to get like an EMF reader. It's like $250. So I'm gonna have to wait till I have some funds to invest in that. And I'm hoping with that technology, I'll be able to create some correlation between orbs or even other types of weird events and see like if there's any spikes, if people have any YouTube links or books or anything that people have already been doing this, so I can get like an idea what worked for them. Shoot them over in the comments. I want to know. The good news is like it is like a sensitive EMF reader. The bad news is it doesn't show what exactly what kind of like EMF it is. And those that show exactly what EMF like reading you're getting are like thousands of dollars, which is something, down the road, if I can do it, I will invest. But for now, I want to see if it's even like worth investing, if I can actually get some type of reading off of it to predict if some of this phenomenon is going to occur, like orbs. And I'm going to focus on orbs and let it expand out whatever direction it takes me. And of course, so we have like thermals, we have night vision, and we have other technologies as well. Something else I'm going to think about investing into, I have to look into, I haven't researched it, is audio recorders that record in the different frequencies, whether that's, what is it? Wow, I just had this in my mind, like the really low frequencies, the really high frequencies outside of auditorial range for us. Because maybe there's these sounds going on, and they may not even have to do anything with cryptids. It could be something coming up from the mountains. There's a lot of stuff that could be learned from this that aren't necessarily unknown, but it could be learned better, like things that we don't even know about the nature of. So that's kind of the direction we're going as like the channel. We want to start exploring more, but we also, like, we've always wanted to test things. That's just something that we've been, and we try to be very conservative in those tests and those hypotheses to see where they lead. And we like the data, we like the information, and there's things that, like that we don't know. There's things that we really are still learning. And I know for me, like there was some weird stuff that did happen with the North American hominid, the Sasquatch, that could very well be evidence of cloaking or disappearing. But I also at the time, like, I didn't want to go investigate further because I was scared. And so it's really sits in that gray area where I can't like tell you definitively that that's what I saw. And even if something did like that occur, like let's say I did see them just disappear in front of me, or like just like do some crazy like altering physics feat, it's important for me at least not to jump to the conclusion that this being has the ability to cloak or go through portals, because this could be a separate phenomenon. And I think that's something that needs to be investigated like that. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what like Glenn and I are going to do, and whoever else like joins this team. And the feedback is great, and I love it. Everyone keep giving me those perspectives and views. And if you have things that are testable, that can be repeatable, and that are convincing, like the convincing as far as you show someone and they're like, wow, yeah, that's convincing. If there's any like hesitation where you're just like, it might be, I'm not sure, like if I'm convinced myself, right? Like, so if you're out in the wilderness, like when I'm out in the wilderness and I have like these experiences, I'm convinced because it's been a personal experience of mine, and no one can take that away from me. But that's going to be a lot harder for me to convince someone else since they weren't there. And so when there's like circumstantial evidence, right, like where I'm like, oh, look at all these stick breaks that I found that I had like rocks thrown at me in these interactions with this hominid the night before, and I'm convinced they're correlated. But that doesn't mean you are, and you shouldn't be, because there's no way for me to prove that to you, or for you to be convinced of that. And that is okay. You should keep that stance, because the reality is it's not convincing. It's convincing to me because I was there, and I saw like all the other pieces, firsthand experience that convinced me. But that doesn't mean like it's convincing for you, and you should keep it like that. Honestly, like, be convinced, and to take your time to be convinced, and don't jump to premature conclusions, because that's something that I've done in lots of aspects of my life, and it's come to haunt me later. But again, reiterating, like, thank you the people that have stayed and like that are engaging like on the post. Really appreciate that. Like hopefully we're slowly moving forward to building new videos and exploring things. Like we're really interested, Glenn and I, to explore some of the mummies in Peru. Like I grew up in Ecuador. I know Spanish. I listened to the whole like disclosure with the Mexican government. Like I think it was like 2.5, 3 hours, the whole thing, and it was really fascinating. And that's something I want to look into down the road more. But right now, we're just focusing also like on like I'm stabilizing and building a business here in the valley. Glenn's doing the same thing, and I'm slowly trying to build enough gear to be able to carry out these experiments, because I don't want to just go out there and just sit and look. I want to be able to find enough information and have the gear to be able to predict and to be able to see patterns in order to replicate it and see this more and more, these behaviors and these sightings, so that to better understand what's going on. And so yeah, any suggestions, everything that you've all been saying, whether it's something that's convincing to me or not, don't keep going, because I have to kind of find some of this, learn some of this stuff on my own and see where it takes me. So there's going to be a lot of things that may be very convincing to you that I'm just not there yet, because I have to experience or be there in context, or it has to be like really clear and something that that I can use to build my understanding of the situation and of the phenomenon. So yeah, any questions that you have for Ron Morehead, put them in the comments below. And any advice for me, put that in the comments below. Any ideas, put them in the comments below. Just give me that feedback. I want to know what y'all think. And thank you everyone that's been engaging with me and the channel in the last like few months. I really appreciate it, and keep up the work. And let's see. Let's test out some of these hypotheses you have. Let's test out some of these conclusions you've all made. And give me ideas like of ways to improve the experiment or the conclusions that you've come to, or ways that I can replicate it, and so we can find convincing evidence. And if that happens, man, I will push it. I will push it on the channel and be like, look, we went and did this too. We got the same type of readings, the same type of outcome. There's something here, even if we don't know what it is, but it's there. So I don't want to dissuade people, even if I'm not necessarily convinced right now, from continuing to express like their conclusions, their experiences. And I don't want to undervalue them, but I just want to make it clear like that I have to kind of go on this step and on this journey to reach those same conclusions, or maybe I'll go in a whole different direction. But yeah, thank you so much again, and thank you those that have been engaging. Really appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing more about what your experience, what you have to say, and what you think of the content. Okay, till next time. Bye bye.